Hi and welcome. This is the abandoned Afton Inn in Afton, Virginia. It's not that far from the entrance to the Blue Ridge Parkway and the Shenandoah National Park. Actually, I found it right as I exited the Shenandoah National Park. I just pulled into a little parking lot. I wanted to map and find out the best route to get me to my last stop, which is going to be a truck stop. I checked out the loft campground in the Shenandoah, and they declined me being able to stay because my tent is broken anyway. And I thought, okay, well, I can just stay in the vehicle, because I do that quite a bit, especially when it's raining or, when I stay at truck stops, etc., etc. But they were pretty close to capacity, and that may have been the reason. They were pretty close to capacity, and they said, that they didn't want me taking up a space that someone would come in and use an actual, have a tent. And unfortunately, mine broke. I don't know that much about putting them up. I'm not real good at it, so that's probably the reason it broke. Anyway, and it's one my ex-husband gave me. But anyways, it was fairly new. He'd only used it once, maybe twice. Anyhow, it's a nice campground. The loft campground. It's definitely it's a nice campground. Very nice. I would have liked to have stayed. Unfortunately, the campground is kind of a long way from where the bathrooms are, though. The laundry and the showers and whatnot, it's kind of a little bit of a trek, it's quite a walk to where the bathrooms are. That's one thing I didn't like. Anyway, so that's it. I left the Shenandoah National Park. I kind of was thinking, maybe tonight I would stay. Last night they were at capacity. They were completely full. And the one campground on the outside of the park, Swift Run, was also at capacity. So it was really, last night, it was Friday night, and everything was full. Tonight it wasn't as bad. And when I came in of course, I came in earlier. I came in a lot earlier, so that could have been it. I came in about 3 o'clock or maybe 4, and they were all had vacancy. But when I drove through the campground, it was pretty full. There was a few spots pretty full. And the few spots they had were kind of at the back of the campground, a long way from the bathrooms. So, not something, not that's that big of a deal. But in the middle of the night, it's pretty dark in there. I could probably just, if I had my tent set up, I could just go behind the tent, and no one would ever probably know if all I need to do is, urinate or whatever. But anyway, that said, I left. I wasn't able to stay, so and some campgrounds won't allow it. I've heard other other experiences from other women who have went to, different campgrounds, and in some cases they won't, if their tent is broken or whatever, they can't get it set up or whatever the case may be, they won't allow them to stay. They will, they'll tell them that if they don't have their tent, they can't stay anywhere. They can't get their tent up or whatever. If it's broken, whatever, they can't stay. They need to find lodging. And that's kind of basically, they just said since it was at capacity, no. And, well, they didn't really say that. They just said no. But they did say they were close to capacity. So I don't know if that had something to do with it or not. Anyway, that said, I left the campground and then went to map, to a spot, obviously a truck stop, since all the campgrounds, I'll be back in just a second. My time's almost up. Anyway, as I was saying, and the other campgrounds were too far away. And on top of that, I don't have a bare a bear-proof container. I'm not really sure exactly what that means, but I don't have a bear-proof container, so that's another issue as well. And on top of that, I wanted Subway tonight. So that being said, I guess 3 things kind of working against me. One, I went to the campground. I knew it was a shot in the dark, that I might be able to get a spot and I might not be able to get a spot, primarily, you know, because I knew I had to tell them, I told them the truth. I had to, that, my tent, was broken, because I didn't want someone waking me up, in the middle of the night and telling me, you can't be in your car, you gotta leave, you're not gonna or you need to put your tent up, or whatever the case is, I don't want to be woken up. So I just told them the truth. And they told me, because of that, I couldn't stay. And I, like I said, I've heard of other situations. I mean, I've heard of other women experiencing similar situations where, if they're, if they're not going to stay in their tent, or they want to, stay in their van or their, RV or whatever, or not RV, but, like a van or a pickup or SUV, they tell them they can't. Now, I did see one van parked back there. It was a custom van. Now, I don't know if that cuts the, cuts it or not. I don't know. Yeah, that's not something I asked. And, I can't get in touch with them, but, well, that's in the park. But, there are campgrounds within the Blue Ridge Parkway as well. I know that one of the campgrounds I checked out, it was at capacity basically, but I know one of the campgrounds I checked out in the Blue Ridge Parkway, Raccoon Holler, I know it was, absolutely, it was mostly RVs. And some of the campgrounds that I have checked out, they don't even have tent spots. One of the things I did notice in Shenandoah is that most of the spots can accommodate an RV or a tent, as long as I guess it's not too big. But anyway, that said, like I said, I had a few things working against me. My tent broke, no bear-proof container, anyway, one Subway, and to be perfectly honest, I actually prefer to stay in my vehicle. I prefer to camp in my vehicle rather than, on the ground in a tent. I really do. Plus, I gotta pack up, I gotta pack the gear up, put the gear in the car, I don't care about that. As far as the tent goes, since it broke, I've already discarded it. But anyways, I basically had to, which I figured was taking up space. Why keep it in the vehicle anyway? So again, I kind of got on a roundabout, a whole other subject anyway. So I stopped to map to, where I'm going to stop, truck stop, whatever, wherever I'm going to stop. And I happened to notice these abandoned buildings, as I said in one video, the very first building that I photograph and video, I think may have been an old tourist place or a chamber of commerce or visitor center or something at some point. Anyway, and then I just went from there, and then I discovered the old Afton Inn, and I didn't know it was the Afton Inn. It wasn't until I turned down the road that said Afton Inn because it's right there. It's like right there at the entrance, practically at the entrance to the Shenandoah National Park. And that's part of the reason, because I was planning on camping, but I couldn't. So when I saw the Afton Inn sign, I thought, what the heck, check them out, let's see what the rates are. Hope maybe the rates aren't bad. I don't know. All I can do is go up there and ask. And I didn't even bother to try to, call. I just, figured they're right there, so I would drive up. That's when I discovered that it's actually abandoned. They just haven't taken the sign down. Anyway, so let's get to it. Okay, guys, I exit the, okay, I am off the Shenandoah. I've left the Shenandoah Okay, I have exited the Shenandoah National Park, and then I pulled in down here at this, not sure what this is. There's a sign in the background that says King's Gourmet Popcorn. Anyway, so I exit and I come in here, and there's a few cars parked out here. I'm not sure what this is about. The building that you were looking at is abandoned, really badly abandoned. And then there's another little building here, and this is also abandoned. Anyway, I pulled in here to map and try to figure out, you know, because there's Highway 250, and I want to see if Highway 250, where it goes, basically. Anyway, a few cars parked out here, but anyway, I stopped. I took a photograph of this old building here. As you can see, it's all grown up. There's plants growing all over it. Anyway, I pulled in here, and I haven't figured out where I'm going to go yet. I know one way is Charlottesville and the other way is somewhere else, but anyways, oh my goodness, looks like it's even grown on the inside of the doors. Wow. See if you guys can see that. Yep, sure enough. Oh, horrible. Anyway, this place has been out of business for a while, so I haven't decided which way I'm going to go. I know I need to find a restroom, and the interstate's not far from here. I know that. Okay, let's get another view of this. Yep. Oh yeah. Been out of business and abandoned for a long time. There's some cars parked in here. I don't know what that's about. Maybe they wanted to hike or something. Maybe they're hikers and they decided to just hike into the Shenandoah. But anyway, so there's some steps up to another building, and then there appears to be something else up there that's also abandoned or empty. See the old sign? I'm guessing that's, I don't know, possibly an old motel? Possibly? I don't know. I'm gonna walk down here and just take a peek before I get back in my car and decide where I'm gonna go. I know 250 west goes to, I think, Waynesboro, east goes to Charlottesville. I have not decided. Let's see, I am at 3 minutes, and I'm gonna walk up here and take a little peek. I'm guessing that this goes to a motel, and then you can see the building down there from here. Okay. I left my keys in my car, so I don't want to walk very far. I can still see it. I don't know. This is crazy. Anyway, yeah, a little bit of nature in the background. Huh. I don't know. This is not someplace I would walk. Oh, I think it's blocked off up there. This was obviously a motel at some point. I might come back here. When I find a potty, I might come back here. I'll walk up there if no one, as long as, provided no one's really watching. Probably no one cares. And then you get out here and you can see where a sign used to be. You can see right there. Anyway, I'm going to get back in my car and map and figure out which direction or where I'm going. Okay, I finally found a place to go to the bathroom. The first place I stopped, Speedway, they had the bathrooms blocked off. The second place, I drove down the road a little bit and I found a Walmart neighborhood market. I went in there. Not getting anything to eat there. I'm going to try to find Subway here in just a few minutes. Anyway, so as I left, I decided to go back to where I was, where the old abandoned building was, and see if I could go explore that, whatever it is, abandoned motel. I'm not sure. It's a I have to walk. I can't drive up to it, nor would I want to. So I'm going to have to walk up to it. It's getting a little bit later. I don't have a lot of time left. Anyway, so I leave to come back, and I missed the turn to go into where the old abandoned building is, and I ended up going toward the entrance of Shenandoah National Park again, only this entrance is blocked off due to a rock slide. Anyway, well, on the way, I find this gorgeous overlook right here. This is an absolute gorgeous overlook, and I'm going to get out and show you guys the overlook. I just didn't want to really do my video or talk about it at the, you know, talk about it while I'm standing outside the car. Anyway, so I'm getting ready I'm going to show you guys the overlook, and I'll be back with you guys a little bit later. Okay, here's the overlook. It's gorgeous. It's about 7 p.m. now. Okay, I came back to this little place right here. You can see the building in the background, but first let me show you the little area that I walked. I didn't know what was back there, so I was afraid to try to drive my car. So I walked it. I walked about halfway, and then I could hear people or car doors. I don't know if it was a business or what, but I decided to make my way down quickly as possible because I don't know where it goes. If it looks like it goes to a business, but I don't know. So anyway, I came back down here, and I realized that here's another pathway as well. So I'm thinking it circles all the way around. Anyway, so here's the building, and as you can see where there used to be a sign a long time ago, and I showed you that in the earlier video. Anyway, I'm going to zoom in. I don't know if that, as I was walking back, like I said, as I was walking back, I saw a man sitting way up high, closer to that building. So I don't know if that's the hotel. I know there's the inn at Afton just down the road where you go in there, but I don't know. Anyway, I am going to make my way back down. I'm going to get in my car, and I'm going to drive down 620 a little ways and see if there's like an entrance to this little building up here, because it's interesting. It's abandoned. It's out of business. But anyway, something, you know, I'd like to photograph, or at least whatever. Anyway, but as soon as I saw the guy, I made my way back down very quickly, because I don't know. This could be an old hotel that people are squatting in. That is not uncommon. But anyway, he was so far up on the hill that he could not have made his way down to where I'm at. Even if he'd have taken off on foot right then, he couldn't have caught up with me. So anyway, I'm always careful about that kind of thing. Anyway, I'm going to get in my car, head down 620, Highway 620. I don't have a lot of time. I want to stop at Subway, and then I'm going to, I'll be back with you guys in a bit. And of course, here is a sign right out here, or a sign plate, where it I guess indicated what kind of business it was, but I didn't walk, like I said, I didn't walk it the entire way, so I don't know what's back there. But anyway, I don't know. Anyway, there's the sign for it. Okay guys, I was right. This is an old motel. I pulled in here. I pulled back up here to the front where no one can see my No one can see my car. Anyway, someone's driving by. That kind of irritates me. And I don't like people thinking I'm taking pictures of this stuff. You never know. You never know who owns this stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to hang around here long. In the back, there was a Subaru parked and an old RV. Not that old. Looks like it's functional and running. Anyway, maybe, I don't know if they're just squatting here. That could have been the man that I saw sitting up on the hill. Anyway, as you can see, I took a few pictures. It is an old abandoned motel. Have no idea what it used to be, but anyway, I thought I would stop here and take a few pictures, which I did, and do a little bit of video. And up here on the side, looks like there's an old water tower. Anyway, I'm going to zoom it back out and show you the other side. I don't want to hang around here too long because there is a car back there and an old RV. Who knows? I don't know. It could be someone that owns the property. Maybe not. Don't know. Anyway, I'm going to get going. Okay, someone else just drove in here. Maybe it's some kind of a hangout or a lookout. Don't know. I saw the pickup truck drive around the back. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Okay, I'm here at another old abandoned building, which I'm going to show you in a second. I go to leave the old motel and my car decides it doesn't want to start. I've had this issue before where it'll grind and grind before it starts. I normally don't let it do that, but I kind of wanted to leave a little quicker because I just didn't feel comfortable at the place. I saw people behind an old abandoned motel. You know, you never know. To me that looks a little sketchy, so I wanted to leave fairly quickly. But I had to turn the car off. I only waited about 10 seconds or just a couple seconds. Tried to restart it. It was still a little hard to start. Turns out this is actually an issue. They had some kind of a recall on it, where they recommend that you go to the dealership and have like a capacitator added to the starter or something like that. But I talked to my ex-husband about it, and he said he didn't really recommend it, because first off, because the car does it so infrequently. It every once in a blue moon my car will not want to start. It'll take longer than normal to start, or it won't want to start on the first try. And when it does that, I just turn it off and wait about a few seconds, 30 seconds, something, and then I restart it and it starts fine. This time on the second try, because I did it so quickly, it was a little harder to start. But all said, everything turned out okay. Anyways, got down to I saw a sign here. It said the Inn at Afton. I overshot it, couldn't turn, so I went on down the road, pulled into a place across the street from a place called the showroom at the Basic City Beer Company. Place is absolutely packed. There's a band playing. I practically forgot about my car when I heard the band anyway, and heard the music. Kind of wanted to get out, but I don't really have time, so I came back up here. Like I said, I saw the Inn at Afton, and I decided to come up here and check out check the motel out, find out what their rates are, etc., etc. Anyway, so turns out the Inn at Afton is actually the same old abandoned motel that I was just at. So it's abandoned anyway, and they took one sign down, but the other sign, the Inn at Afton, they have not. It's still up, and that's crazy, because when I pulled in, actually there is a pretty nice looking car. I thought it was a Subaru, but it's not. It's an SUV. But anyway, and RV were parked up there, and that's the ones that I was felt a little sketchy about. But when I was on the other side, and on the side you can tell that it's empty or abandoned, quite a few cars pulled in, and I didn't know if it was some kind of, like I said in the other video, I didn't know if it was some kind of a hangout, I don't know, and so safety comes first, and I'm not really a scared person, but you know, if I don't feel comfortable with something, I leave. And then hence my car decided it wants to be difficult to start. Anyway, hopefully when I get ready to leave now, there'll be no more issues. I hope. This only happens like once every, maybe once a month, maybe once every, you know, maybe once a month. I know when I first got the car, I noticed it maybe not too long after I'd had the car. I noticed it, but it didn't. It would do it maybe, like, I think the first time it did it, and then it did it like the very next day, and then it waited a week, and then it waited another week, and after that it didn't do it, but very often. Kind of freaked me out. First time it happened, and the car just kept trying to start itself. Kind of really freaked me out, but then, you know, I kind of got used to it. But anyway, it doesn't do it, but like I said, once every month or two. Anyway, so I left. I've just left the inn at Afton. It appears that a lot of other people drive down this road thinking the inn at Afton is still in business, and it's not, and they end up like me having to turn around. But on the way in, I noticed this old abandoned building, and I thought, okay, you know, I'll come back down here and photograph that. So that's where I am now, and I'll be back in just a bit. Okay, as you can see, there is another old abandoned building here, and in the background there's that old water tower, and then if you look off in the background you can see the sign that's for the Afton Inn that has been taken down, and you can see the Afton Inn all the way over there, which is actually a good little distance. It's actually a good little distance from right here where I'm standing, but you can see that. Anyway, like I said, on the way in here, I thought the inn at Afton was in business, so I was going to, you know, check them out, but clearly they're not. Anyway, and down there, this is a view. This is where I was at earlier, and I want to say that first old building that I photographed and did a video on is actually probably the visitor center. Maybe it used to be the visitor center, or a tourist info center, or maybe a chamber of commerce, something like that, because behind me is another little tourist center, or a visitor center rather, and it's kind of like a little trailer kind of like thing that they put near the Afton Inn. Anyway, from what I can see, it looks like it's still in business. And then down here is this other old brick building, and it too is out of business, and in front of that is some kind of a taco, not really a taco, I guess like sort of like a taco truck. Anyway, you zoom in on that, you can see the taco truck, and then pan back around here, and you can see that old building. And then of course up there is the old abandoned empty Afton Inn. And then here's another this building. I have no clue what that is, and I'm gonna pan out a little bit. And of course this is the road on the way into the Afton Inn, which of course is no longer in business. So if anybody comes to Afton, Virginia and think that the Afton Inn is in business and you're gonna get a room, think again. And then up there is the sign for the visitor center. As you can see, it's like right up there on that little hill is my apologies, when I zoom out that much it gets pretty shaky. But anyway, I need to, let's pan it around a little bit. I also want to take a picture of this old building too. Anyway, it's getting late. It's about 8:30. Waynesboro is like 2 miles up the road. Hopefully there will be a Subway there, and that's where I'm headed now. This next video slideshow basically starts right there at the old visitor center, tourist center, whatever the heck it is, with all of the greenery and shrubs and vines and plants growing up on the building. And it goes from there. You see the sign where I guess it once indicated that it was whatever it was. I know one of the signs probably said the Afton Inn. Now, as far as what those other old buildings are, I don't know. It looks like it may have been a visitor center to me, and then over to the side is another building. I don't know exactly what that was. And then there's an old, what looks like may have been a garage at some point, and that too is empty. I only got a video and a picture from the rear of it, not the front of it. I really didn't want to stand right in front of it. There were some cars parked in front of it and someone who runs like a taco truck right there. Anyway, so this is the upcoming video slideshow, basically starting with the old visitor center or whatever it is. Also, as you'll see in one of the videos, there was another road to the side, and I tried to walk. I walked all around it, and then I walked as far as I could, and then I heard cars, and I said, I don't know where this goes, so I turned around. I also saw a man sitting way up high up on one of the hills, and I decided, I don't know who it is, where they're at, I don't know. I also saw a deer while I was walking back there, but anyway, I didn't walk the whole thing. I think it may have circled around, but I don't know. So once I heard the car doors, saw the guy, I just left. So anyway, here's the slideshow. Okay, I have my Subway and I'm ready to go eat now. I got myself a cold cut sandwich. I've had it in the car now for not too long, maybe an hour. Anyway, don't want the meat to get hot. And she put some kind of sweet peppers on it, and I definitely don't want it to get soggy. It is 11 o'clock. I have lately only been eating like one meal a day, so I had to stop there for a second. Anyway, like I said, I've only been eating one meal a day, so this is my one meal of the day. Except for yesterday, I had like a little smoothie, which kind of bothered my stomach. Anyway, I'm going to conclude this video now. It's late. It's 11 p.m. I'm ready to eat. I have my sandwich. I'm headed to my last stop. I'm going to, like I said, eat my sandwich. Probably watch a movie. I watched a horror movie last night on Prime. Probably will watch one tonight. Again, maybe because, it won't be that long. It's no different than watching like 2 episodes of Hunter or 2 episodes of something. Now, if it's really, really late, sometimes I'll only watch Hunter and then that's it. Maybe listen to a little podcast. But tonight, I'm going to probably watch another movie. Anyway, so I'm headed to my last stop, eat, watch a movie, probably go in the store, get me something to drink, and that's going to be the end of my night. Tomorrow's going to be the Blue Ridge Parkway. I still have about 100 miles on the Blue Ridge Parkway from Afton to Roanoke to explore. I may go back to Shenandoah National Park just briefly. I still have 2 days left, so I may go back briefly, but probably not for a whole lot. There is one video, like I said before, that at the entrance that I want to do that I did when I first went, but it was very, very dark, so I'd like to go back and do that while it's daylight. Anyway, so this concludes this video. I'm ready to end my day, end my night, eat, watch a movie, etc., etc. So I'll be back with you guys later in another video. I hope everyone has a good week. good month. God bless. Peace.